Another edition of TalkingWithHeroes.com talk show program. I am Bob Calvert, your host, and we are still here in Afghanistan. And right now we're at Forward Operating Base, Fenton. And before I introduce our next guest, I want to once again thank the people that made it possible for us to be here and bring to you, the American people, all the videos that you've been watching here from Afghanistan, from our troops sharing the progress and positive stories, and from Afghans too. So I'd like to thank Rob Brazell from Boulder, Colorado with returntowork.org, blackhawk.com. Did an incredible job at the last minute with a lot of the things that we needed to get here, to be here. Check out their website. Anthony Pace with freedomhunters.org, also in Colorado, based out of there. Alan Gray with newsblaze.com. Bill Wisniewski, who films all the airborne activities at Fort Benning. His site is www.5jump.com. Sportsman's Warehouse in Colorado Springs. Again, supplied us with very important items that we needed. Co-manager John Fly, sportsmanswarehouse.com. Eric Chia, our webmaster from day one, many times sponsor, longtime friend in Olathe, Kansas. Colin Clark in Elizabeth, Colorado. You'll be hearing a lot about Colin and his environmental pallet company shortly. Debbie Gregory with militaryconnection.com. Patty Bader and all the angels with soldiersangels.org. And then CW5 retired Dennis McCormack, who helped train me for this mission for months in Colorado Springs. Actually, he retired from Fort Carson in Colorado Springs. And so what we're going to do now is we are now going to talk with a combat correspondent here in Afghanistan. He is Sgt Okan Scott, and he is currently attached to Fort Carson's 4th BCT, 4th ID. It is a privilege and an honor to introduce to TalkingWithHeroes.com. Now in front of the camera, he's been helping me behind the camera, I appreciate it, Sgt Scott. Welcome, sir, to Talking with Heroes, and thank you for your service to our country.
Well, thank you, Bob, for having us or coming out here and following us and getting the soldier story. So we appreciate that as well.
Thank you. And why don't we start out, if you don't mind, share with the American people about yourself, where you're from, talk about your service, how long you've served.
Well, my name is Okan Scott. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. I enlisted in the Army shortly after high school. I've been in the military for about a little over 8 years now. It's 9 years, and this is my first tour in Afghanistan. But I've also done a tour in Iraq, so this is not a new thing for me.
Okay, and share what you do here. What does a combat correspondent do?
Well, like you said, Bob, I am a combat correspondent, and basically I am doing kind of what you're doing here, but on the military side, what we do as a combat correspondent, or my job, is we go out to find the soldier's story, and we go out different missions, different units every week, and we try to find the story, to tell the good news story, you know, because the civilian media puts out a lot of news, but it's generally not it doesn't show the everyday soldier what the everyday soldier does. So we go out there, we look for the good news story, and myself, I'm a combat correspondent. I do video, so I'll go and go out on missions, go out on patrols, and take video of these soldiers doing what they do on a normal day, which is really extraordinary, actually, what they do. So we try to showcase that. And I'm with the Public Affairs Office here, attached to 4th Brigade, so 4th Infantry Division.
We're also near the flight line, so let's let the helicopters go by here for just a second.
Absolutely.
That's probably okay. Do you have any particular stories that you've covered that you might want to share about?
Oh, well, I've only been in country a few months, although I would say most of the stories that I've had were pretty extraordinary. I mean, and for the guys that I cover, this is not an extraordinary thing for them. It's every day. You know, they do this every day. But for most people, when they look at the video footage or they get the interviews, they're like, wow, these guys are actually doing this every day. But I don't want to. There's nothing specifically. There's nothing, because I've had more than one, so I don't want to kind of generalize that, but I've had more than one, you know. And the soldiers out here, we're covering things like, you know, I'm sure you've seen it as well, the PRTs and the ADTs, you know, the soldiers out here helping out the Afghan, training the Afghan military, helping out the farmers, showing them better techniques to farm, just trying to go from the ground up, you know. So it's amazing. I mean, I hope more people back in the United States, and hopefully with your website, can see what the soldiers are really doing out here. You know, it's not just a fight. It's not just, you know, out here fighting and missions like that. There's an actual humanitarian mission out here too, you know, to help out the Afghan people, and that's the biggest focus. So.
Okay, now when 4th BCT finally all of them go back, will you be attached to another brigade? You'll still be here, right? Yeah,
I'll still be here. I have another 9 months left here. I'll be now working for the 101st. So it's been fun. It's been great working with the 4th Brigade, 4th ID, and I hope that the 101st will also be a good experience.
So when I come back later this year, we might get to team up again.
Absolutely, and I'm sure I'll have more stories to tell you by then. So
good. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to send me stories too, because we have the online news site too. Thank you for your service.us.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can start posting them for you.
And I hope more people start going to the website and looking at the raw footage of what you're putting out there. You know, you're putting out there exactly what's going on, what the soldiers are doing, and that's a good thing, Bob. So I want to thank you actually now that. Because you're basically doing what we are trying to do. You know, you're doing that on the civilian side for us, so it's a really good thing. I just want to thank you again.
Well, it's an honor to do this. It's every time I come out, I've been to Iraq 3 times. And this same experience. I come out 3 weeks. I don't know how you guys do it for a year. I told my son-in-law the other night, you know, 2 15-month deployments he's had. I don't know how you all survive it physically. I mean, you're younger than me. You're still physical, and the heat gets to you, the long hours you guys work. I mean...
Yeah, it's definitely rough, and I don't have it as rough as others. I do go out for about 3 weeks at a time. I come back in for about a week, you know, to refit, but so I do experience how rough it is out there, and you know what, you just count down the days, but like I'm happy to be here, proud to serve, and I'm sure most of us are like that, soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors, whoever.
So you're saying you're out 3 weeks, so you go to other FOBs, other outposts?
That's right.
Combat outposts?
Absolutely.
Okay. What are you seeing out there in terms of how the American people are taking care of our troops? We've heard a lot about it. You have a unique perspective because you go to a lot of places. Care packages, letters, what do you see, what do you hear?
Well, I'll tell you, the farther out I go, the further the outpost, the more remote, the less I see as far as packages and you know, care packages and things of that nature. Although I do have to say that the chaplains out here, they do a great job of forwarding stuff over, because you know, here at Fort Benton they get a lot of packages, and it's more than they really need out here. But the soldiers and the chaplains, they work together to get those packages out to those outposts that are further out and don't get the mail as often as they do out here at Fort Benton. So. I tell you, it's different. You know, Fort Benton, everyone's fortunate over here in Jalalabad as far as amenities, and the farther out you go, the less you're going to get. So those care packages make a really big difference, really big difference out there, especially just mail in general. Because anytime you get mail, it's like Christmas over here. So that makes the soldier happy. And I've gotten mail and little packages from people I don't know and letters, and it really does make a difference. Not just if you don't have a family, even if you do have a family, just reading a letter from a grade school kid, you know, it just kind of warms you a little bit. And you know, most of us take the time to write back and thank them. So I like it.
Well, there's people watching right now that are hearing what you're saying, that are already involved in getting care packages and letters out, and hopefully a lot of new people that are going to go out and say, how can I help, and maybe contact some of these organizations. How can we get these packages out to the remote locations? Do we get the APO addresses and maybe get them to me and I get them out to the groups? How does that work?
You know, maybe we can work something like that out, because this is the major FOB. This is a pretty big one, and the outposts have a different, it's the same address but different names. So maybe we can get a listing out of the outposts that are actually more remote and that probably need those care packages. more than we do. Even though, yeah, we do need them here, but out there they need them even more. So,
okay.
So we can definitely work that out.
Well, I know there's people listening that are ready and willing and ready to do this. So just get me the APO addresses, and folks, my email is bob@talkingwithheroes.com. And so email me and tell me who you are, and as I get these APO addresses, I'll get them to you. Okay. Why don't you give a shout out to your family and friends? Just take your time, and you're going to be here 9 more months, so they're going to be watching this.
Well, I guess I'd like to first give a shout out to my mother and my sister back home in Virginia, all my friends out there as well, and also to all my friends in the military. I have a lot of friends in Iraq right now, and other parts of Afghanistan. I'd like to give them a shout out, and hey, you know, take care, and we'll see each other when we redeploy. So, you know, hey, we're halfway through, another 6 months to go, so it should be good.
Where are you based out of?
Fort Meade, Maryland.
Okay, and what unit are you actually with?
Well, I'm with the 356 BOD out of there, so
okay.
I've been cross-leveled to this unit. So.
Okay, great. Well, I really appreciate it, Sgt. Scott. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you and coming back out and hanging out with you and bringing some more stories back to the American people. Now, we're getting ready to go out on a mission together with a whole bunch of people. Why don't you share a little bit about it, and then people will see this on the next video.
All right. Well, the mission, we're going to go out We're going to go out here in a couple minutes here to basically engage in the local populace. So we'll go out there. I'm not sure about the specifics, but it should be good video. And you'll be there to show them exactly what we're about to do. And
I'll have an interpreter with me, and we'll be actually leaving the FOB on foot.
Yeah, it'll be a foot patrol. It won't be a mount. It'll be dismounted, so we'll actually be able to get to see, you know, Afghanistan like how it really is, not in a vehicle. So it should be a good mission.
Not in a helicopter either. So
absolutely.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm so glad you're helping. I'm sure there's a big difference people notice in your filming and my filming, since I've never done it before. But
well, no problem, anything.
Okay.
Again, I just want to say thank you, Bob, Talking with Heroes. You're doing a really good thing, and I hope more people start paying attention, and I hope more people start visiting your website to see what's really going on, because you really are doing a great thing out here. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and again, thank you for your service to our country. Well, folks, another interview with a great person here, a great American serving here in Afghanistan, doing a great job. You're hearing it all, watching it all on TalkingWithHeroes.com, and by the time we get all these videos up, other people that are putting these videos on their websites, whether they're media or military support groups, veterans groups, any websites, we're going to make a list of them on our website too, on the main Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo trip page. So I want to thank you all for watching, and thank you all for sharing with other people. I am Bob Calvert, your host on TalkingWithHeroes.com, reporting from Afghanistan.